98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy. Weekdays from 10 a.m. on 98FM.
Very sad story in the news today. One of the headlines in the paper: man left fighting for his life after being hit by Scrambler as he was sunbathing in the park. Many of you were sitting in parks all around Dublin, over the weekend with the good weather that we had. Little did you think, or little would you suspect, that as you're lying on your back getting some sun, that in a moment your life will change when a scrambler comes along and hits you. Well, that's what happened to one poor individual. This man has been left fighting for his life in hospital after a teenager on a scrambler ran over his head as he was sunbathing in a popular Dublin park. It's understood that the 38-year-old man was lying down in Darndale Park on Saturday afternoon when a scrambler ran over a hill and landed on top of him, leaving him with horrific head and facial injuries. This is just the latest in a long line of stories involving these scrambler bikes, and I'll give you some more examples in a couple of minutes of injuries and deaths that have occurred because of these scrambler bikes. Now, out of respect for the man who is in serious condition at the moment in hospital, we don't want to focus entirely on his story. Unless, of course, if you were in the park when you saw this happen, if you were in Darndale Park over the weekend and you saw this happening, or if in your local estate scramblers are a constant problem and a constant bane of your life, I'd love to hear from you. So we don't want to focus entirely on this story, but we want to talk about scramblers in general and whether or not you believe they are as dangerous as they are being made out to be. Are scramblers an antisocial nuisance, and is it time for a complete clampdown on them? How big of an issue is this in your housing estate? So there you have, 38-year-old man is sitting out on Saturday afternoon in Darndale Park, minding his own business, lying on his back. The next minute, a teenager on a scrambler bike comes over the hill. We don't know the exact details of what happened next, but the scrambler bike obviously collided with this man, leaving him with horrific head and facial injuries. I can only imagine the injuries that this poor man has at the moment. I'd like to hear from you. Text or WhatsApp 087 798 98 98. That's the text and WhatsApp number. Love to hear your opinions on this, or better still, call us 6797 981. 6797 981. Is it time for a ban on scrambler bikes? It's clear from the amount of stories we've had in the news over the last couple of years that these scramblers are a death trap. I don't know where people are buying them and why they're buying them. Why in God's name would you let a teenager on a scrambler bike? Call us 6797 981. Text or WhatsApp 087 798 98 98. Straight away, text in there. They should be all banned. I blame the parents for buying them. The parents should be held accountable. Let me go to Dave. Dave, you're on 98FM. How are you?
Sorry, Jeremy.
Good. Not the best for hearing this story. That poor man left fighting for his life over this. What's your opinion on scrambler bikes?
Well, I can't understand how they're getting away with it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I live down the country, and you wouldn't see that shit anywhere. Do you know? And there's places down here where you can go do it. It seems to be a real Dublin thing, driving around parks and places like on mini motors and scramblers. Like, if you're not old enough to hold a license and you're not taxing insurance, what are you doing on it? Why aren't the guards just taking them and impounding them?
So
they did it. No, but they did it down here. A couple of Christmases ago, there was a house estate inside in Thurles, and a lot of the parents brought scramblers and mini motors for the family. The guards were up Stevens' day, confiscated every single last one of them, and told the parents, either we're going to destroy them, you can get them back, but you're going to have to pay impound fees, and you're also going to pay a fine. And if we see your kids out on them again, you're going to be doing jail time.
So the guards actually took the scrambler bikes from them?
They took them off. Of course they took them off them. Like, no teenager has any business driving around on a bike in a public area. I mean, a man was lying down sunbathing and a scrambler landed on his head. How much more clear of a message do you need, like? Do you know what I mean? There are any amount of places around the country where you can do it, and you're probably going to have people going, oh, well, we've nowhere to do it, we've nothing to do, which is bullshit.
But, okay, these incidents, while they are horrific, it's not as if they're happening every day of the week.
Doesn't matter, Jeremy. If it happens once is too much. Man was lying out sunbathing and a bike landed on his head. Do you know what I mean? Like, people have been killed off him before. Where didn't you have someone on the radio there a couple of months ago saying there was young folks flying up and down in a local park and there was kids playing? What happens if a child goes underneath it? People have died coming off these things.
Yeah.
If you want to join a bike club and do it in a safe, responsible way, more power to you. If you love bikes, fair play to you for being into something. But using that stupid excuses of you've nothing to do, so I'm going to drive around public parks for everybody to enjoy on a bike, and because that guy's not just going to be like, okay, I'm all happy and healthy again, I'm leaving hospital. He's going to be scared for life. He had a bike literally landed on his head, for God's sake.
It doesn't bear thinking about. Stay there for a second, please, Dave. Dave feels very strongly about this. How do you feel about it? 6797981. How bad is the issue of scramblers in your housing estate? Dave is saying that it's been eradicated outside Dublin, that the guards clamped down on it. From what I believe, that there's still a piece of legislation that hasn't been passed that will give the guards the power. As far as I know, now I'm open to correction on this, but as far as I know, the guards do not have the power to take scramblers away from teenagers. Now, I may be wrong, but if that is the case, that's absolutely shocking, that is. Michael, you're on 98FM. How are you?
Morning, how are you?
Good. Now, you've been riding scramblers since you were 10 years of age.
Yep, always. I was motorsport background, so I don't really. Look, what happened was terrible. Shouldn't have happened. But there's no facilities in the city. Like you go to any major city. I lived in Brisbane. Been all across the world and stuff like that. There's facilities for people to do stuff inner city. There's nothing for these fellas to do at all. Apart, like, they don't have a van or a trailer to put a bike on and take it, 30, 40 miles outside the city where there's facilities for these guys to do. So they're bored. And what are they going to do? Obviously they're going to ride their bike because they're not educated on it properly, on the dangers of these bikes and stuff. So, like... Okay,
again, a couple of questions for you first of all, because you're in the know, Michael. Do you need insurance for a scrambler bike?
No, you don't. Okay,
what engine does a scrambler bike have?
Well, it can range from 50cc to 500cc.
My God. Now,
it's like a 50cc bike will kill you just as quick as a 500cc bike. It's not like, if there was more education on these stuff, you can go on Dundee, you can buy a scrambler for, you don't need a license.
Sorry for cutting across you, Michael. What education do you need for it?
Well, do you not have education and have a driver's license on the dangers of driving on the road?
Yeah, but everybody knows that they're dangerous. I don't know how educating people is going to change them.
Bungee jumping is dangerous too, but there's no education on it. Like, you could right now go on Dundee, buy a scrambler, never have ridden the bike ever, jump up on it and ride into somebody. What education have you got on it?
So we need to educate people. Is that what it is?
Well, like I said, there's no facilities. If there was proper facilities with, say, inner city Dublin somewhere that they can, bring their bike, somebody professional talk to them, show them the dangers, let them ride it around in a safe environment, I don't think this would be as, I'm not going to say it would cut it out fully, but it'd definitely be on a lesser.
Now, stay there for a second, Michael, because Dave, I can hear you coming back in there. They should be given facilities for their scrambler bikes.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Yeah, fine, that's grand, but what does it mean? Does the state have to pay for this? Do you know what I mean? Is it like, the government has to give us these facilities because the kids are bored and they don't have anything to do, so they have to drive up and down footpaths and parks on their bikes? I agree with you, but like,
your statement there saying that the coppers taking the bikes off them. Sure, that doesn't matter. They're going to go back down the road and buy more.
No, I'm proper order, but no. See, what they did down here was they sent them a message. They took the bikes off and they said, "Don't do it again, or you'll be in serious trouble." Because you have kids flying up and down, flying up and down the road on bikes. Do you know what I mean? One of them could fly and get hit by a car.
What trouble are they going to be in? They're minors. What trouble are they going to be in?
What trouble are they going to be in? Okay, well, if one of them comes off the bike over the handlebars and hits their head off the road.
Fair enough. Right, okay.
Do you know what I mean? And look, I agree with you. Look, I agree with you 100% on the whole education thing. Like, giving someone a bike and keys and going off with you is just pure stupidity. But like, if people are that hard done by then and they want bikes, why doesn't everybody get together and try to rent a bit of land off Fingal? or find a bit of disused land somewhere and do it up yourselves.
Well, hang on. You see. Here's the thing. Fingal, none of the county councils are going to hand over land for Scrambler bikes, because then can you imagine? And I want to put this question to you, Michael. Can you imagine how much the insurance would be if you were to have a Scrambler park? I don't even think you could get insurance.
No, it's stupid, and that's why. Like, you go to Century there to there's a go-kart place there. There used to be facility there for bikes, but somebody got badly injured and they closed it down. Like, it's a fucking catch-92. Like, it's.
Okay, but when you had your first Scrambler bike at 10 years of age, I assume you didn't buy it yourself. Your parents bought you a Scrambler, did they?
Yeah, well, like, we always had stuff at home that we'd ride around on bikes and stuff like that. I grew up on a farm, so like, I had the education of the dangers of it, and if I did fall off it, the only person I was hurting was me, because we were in a field. But I tell you, when you fall off it once and hurt yourself, you guarantee you won't do it again the next time. But if they had that stuff, we'd say the facilities near to them, like, they don't have the where they can put a bike in a van and take it somewhere, so they're going to ride it around in the park. Well, that's what they're going to do, because there is no law there to stop them. There's nobody policing them to go, oh, here he is on his bike, let's get him now. It's free. They just do it whenever they want.
Stay there for a second, please, Michael. Michael's been riding Scrambler bikes since 10 years of age. I'd love to hear from you. 6797 981. You can text or WhatsApp your comments. There's a huge reaction to this already. 087 798 98 98. 087 798 98 98 is the text or WhatsApp number. Let me go to Connor. Connor, you're on 98FM. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
You believe heavier laws are needed as well, is that right?
Yeah.
Any law is needed, pretty much.
Yeah, no, it's a motorised vehicle. They can go up to 500 cc's. You need a licence just as you would anything else, really. Like, it's just ridiculous to think otherwise. But I think another problem is a lot of people think this is a very simple issue that just requires, this one really simple minor change. But I think, like the other lads were saying, it's a deeper reflection of what's going on in society. These kids don't have fuck all to do, really.
What's your language? What's your language, please?
Sorry, they're just really trying to go out and have a bit of fun, and they're doing it in absolutely the wrong way. And the parents are to blame in a lot of these situations. They're letting their kids go out. They're not taking care of them. They're not paying attention to what they're doing, and they're not accountable for anything. Neither the kids or the parents.
Well, let me put that to Michael. Were your parents? Your parents gave you a bike at 10 years of age, Michael. Do you feel like they were putting you in harm's way?
No, like, it was different for me, because, as I said, we always had stuff. Like, I was driving tractors when I was 8. I knew how to drive. I knew how to use equipment. I knew the dangers of it. I wasn't just saying, oh, here's a bike at the age of 10 and go knock yourself out. Like, I progressed to the stage of where I got, good on it. These guys get high-powered bikes at zero, education or the dangers of a bike whatsoever. And you might as well give them a load of gun, because it's Russian roulette. Like, you might live, you might die. We don't know. I think if they were educated more and they had a facility that maybe could even leave their bike there and cycle down on their push bike and use it then and go home. Like, but there's nothing for them. Like,
There's nothing for them. To be honest,
I don't mean that in a way that the government should give them a handout. Let's build them a whole big park and stuff like that. But if there was something like, at the moment there's nothing. So
you think something should be provided just as an outlet for them, so that they can ride these scramblers? Hey, if it was to save one life a year, isn't it worth something? Well, Connor, do you think that'd be a good idea?
Like I said, there just needs to be heavier restrictions on it. There needs to be some kind of license for him, and like, fair play to your man Michael there or whatever. Like, his parents were sensible enough to actually teach him, but the problem is most of these kids going around on this thing are like, they've crap parents in the first place. They don't care what they're out doing. They could be giving them a gun, and they wouldn't really care until someone ended up dead, and we're having the same kind of conversation in the first place. Well, we should,
I agree. We had this conversation a year ago, and something was supposed to be done about it, and it still hasn't. Stay there for a second, please, Michael. I was looking online to see how easy it is to get these dirt bikes and how cheap they actually are, and I found on several websites that there are bikes. Here's a bike for sale, a 50cc. Now, for those of you who think that a 50cc isn't powerful, a 50cc is a very, very powerful bike. The old Honda 50cc motorbike was quite powerful. There's a kids 50cc brand new Scrambler dirt bike for 620 quid for sale in Wicklow. There's another one there for 500 quid for sale. Here's kids, high quality dirt bike, 495 quid. There's another 50cc dirt bike for €345. The reason I'm saying that is these are all priced very, very reasonably. It's not as if, these prices are exorbitant where young fellas wouldn't be able to afford them. So that's how they're getting the bikes. Now, let me go to Peter. Sorry for holding you for so long, Peter. What would you like to say about this?
I literally live, I'd say 10 minutes from where that accident happened.
Sorry, it's very hard to hear you. Can you say that again, Peter?
I live only a few minutes from where the accident happened on Saturday, and my problem is, like everybody's saying, we need laws, we need to bring in, there is laws. You need to be 17 years of age, you must hold provisional licence and do driving tests to own a motorbike and to have tax and insurance. A couple of years ago, NCT, I had tax on the car, I had insurance on the car. I failed the NCT test, and I didn't get it retested within 10 days. And the Gardaí put me over and impounded me car for my NCT being within 10 days. And these fellas are driving around with no licence, no tax, and no insurance. There is laws there. If I drive my car with no licence, no tax, no insurance, and I hit somebody, I'm going to jail for manslaughter. Absolutely,
yeah. So what you're saying is the law is clamping down on you over stupid little things which you believe are stupid.
But the same laws apply to them. But there's no separate law for me, fella driving the car, or some fella driving the motorbike. The other fella was saying you don't need a licence or tax and insurance if you're driving the motorbike on your own private land. That's how that fella got away with the farm. But if you drive a motorised vehicle out on the public road, you must abide by the rules of the road and the law. That's just as simple as that. The problem is the Gardaí aren't enforcing it. Only a week ago, on the Darndale Road, the Prizewood Road it's called, that leads out of Darndale, was two fellas racing down the road, having a wheelie competition, and one of them wrote a car off. The woman is still in Beaumont Hospital now in critical condition.
Sorry, which road was this on?
This is in Darndale as well. The whole road was shut off for about 5 or 6 hours, about a week and a half ago.
And which road exactly was it in Darndale?
The road that goes from the Malahide Road all the way up to the Prizewood Church. It literally runs the length of Darndale and Belcamp.
Okay, I know the road well.
The Darndale Link Road is on it as well. It runs in between the housing estate and the industrial estate.
And what you're saying is two lads racing each other, from what appear to be racing each other along a main road.
A wheelie competition.
A wheelie competition.
Who can do the longest wheelie? And they wrote the woman's car off. Who's going to pay for that woman's hospital bills? Who's paying for her car?
And what time of the day did this happen at?
This is in the middle of the day. This is bright. You know what I mean? It was all up on the Facebook. Everybody was like, where's the guy that got the road? The whole road was shut off. There was jeeps, fire brigade, you name it. The whole road was shut off. And then, yet again, that woman's fighting for her life. And nothing will happen to them. Nothing will happen to them. It's an absolute... If I go out with no... There's checkpoints all over Clondalkin. Armed checkpoints. It's really every day. And if I drive... I have full windows of everything, and I still get paranoid thinking, have I no tax? Because they'll take the car off me.
And tell me this. You live not far from the park where this happened, Darndale Park.
I live in Clondalkin. I live about...
Okay, so you're only a stone throw away from it. How bad of a problem was this how bad of a problem is this in Darndale?
Around the whole Clondalkin area, it's bad. Some nights my bedroom was up in the attic, so you'll hear them running down main Clondalkin Avenue and all, Scramblers. And out, like sometimes you'll see the Prizewood, the Belcamp Park, for instance. I'll bring the kids out to the park with the dog. You'll see the fellas coming on the Scramblers. I have to go. I have to bring the kids out. First of all, I have to bring the dog back in because he'll go after them. But the lads just blow in between you and the kids running playing in the park. And you have to bring the kids home.
Now, Belcamp Park, I've been in it by myself before. It's a beautiful park. There's lovely facilities in it. There's a lovely there's a playground in it as well.
There's 2 playgrounds in it.
2 playgrounds.
They have it wrecked. That's what there's nothing to do, because the likes of them lads have it wrecked. They burn it down and all. That's great. And they're looking for money for a Scrambler park. We can't get a playground for the kids without just wrecking it.
And you're saying you're saying that this park, that Belcamp Park, is completely ruined because of Scrambler bikes.
Well, not ruined, but if you go out to the park, I guarantee you, in a day like this, overcast day, you're going to see minimum of 3 lads out. You just hear the bikes, and you'll see them flying across the park. Then they leave the park, and then they'll be up Clondalkin Heights, down Clondalkin Avenue, all the way down past the church, down the Darndale. Well, it's not called the Darndale Road, but every local in the area calls it the Darndale Road. And they'll be flying what we call the innie outies. These things are put there to slow cars down, but they get a thrill out going through them as fast as they can.
See, I find it very sad and very frustrating, Peter, that you can't bring your kids to the local park for fear of them being run over by these Scrambler bikes.
You can bring them to the park. It's just when you bring the kids to the park and the lads come out. I'm not saying it's every single day. You're going to get somebody on going, I live in Clondalkin as well. I'll say 85% of the time on a sunny day. You don't really bring the kids to the park when it's lashing rain out. You know what I mean? But when it's nice and sunny, you can be sure that the fellas letting the horses roam free, or that the fellas in that Scrambler roam across the park.
And have you reported this to the? I assume you have reported it to the guards.
You're wasting. There's no even point. You are wasting your time. If you ring the guard that would take 5-6 hours if somebody's breaking into your house, for God's sake, they're not going to do anything for a couple of lads in the park on a Scrambler.
Peter, hang on. If you happen to ring the guards, say for instance tomorrow afternoon you decide you bring your 2 kids to Belcam Park, yeah?
And I ring the guards and say there's fellas down here on Scramblers, dangerous driving, in and out of the kids. They're not going to send a squad car. Now anybody in Coolock who gets on us at the guard are there in minutes is a bleeding liar. The Garda station, Coolock Garda station, is less than a 10-minute drive from the Darndale Park. And you still wouldn't have got them.
Okay, did you do me a favour? Stay there for a second, please, Peter. He's quite annoyed, and you can imagine why he would be. He can't even bring his kids to the local park. As I said, I know that park very well, Belcam Park. It's a beautiful park. There's no reason why he shouldn't be able to bring his kids there without having to worry about young fellas on Scrambler bikes possibly hitting his children. Let me go to Paul. Paul, you're on 98FM. How are you?
How's it going?
Now, Paul, you drive quad bikes, is that correct?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I drive them in Clondalkin, yeah.
What about Scramblers?
No, I don't drive Scramblers now. I drive the quad bikes. I'm not into Scramblers now myself because they're a bit too dangerous. But so are quads. But at the end of the day, like, we live in Clondalkin. We have about 80 acres between Balgaddy and Bonogue, and the Garda keep blocking them off with the council and won't let us interfere on the quad bikes. So it gives us no choice but to drive them on the road and in the parks.
Okay, let's get back to the start here. First of all, what age are you?
I'm 40.
You're 30 years of age and you're still going on quad. Are you still going on quad bikes?
We still drive quads. Drive them since my young age.
Yeah, but you're not a young fella anymore. You're 30 years of age.
It doesn't make it. So what? We have to stop having fun because I get a bit older.
I'm just saying. As you get older, I mean, I wouldn't have thought at 30 years of age that quad bikes would be still your thing.
Yeah, sure. That's the thing. We have nothing else to do around Clondalkin. So we have horses.
Sorry, have you not got a job?
No, so I can't get a job. So I was in prison. I told me so I get.
Hang on a second. You probably can't get a job because you spend your whole day out on quad bikes.
Hang on a second now. See, you just carry me with the same bus like everybody else. I've been trying to get a job for the last 3 years, and because I have a criminal conviction, because I was stupid when I was 17 or 18 years old, nobody will give me a job. I have tried. I've gone to the Labour. I've gone everywhere. I've gone to Uber. They all refuse me. And I haven't been able to get a job. Okay, you're on the radio giving me loads because I drive quad bikes.
Hang on a sec. Calm down for a sec, Paul. So you're 30 years of age, and okay, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. That's your own business. You're 30 years of age, and you're going around on a quad bike. That's how you get your thrills. That's fine by me. And you are claiming that you're going out around Clondalkin on main roads on an uninsured quad bike because the guards are blocking the fields and won't let you onto the fields.
Yes, we have none of that. So I bought the quads there and so I'm supposed to leave sitting in the garden and go nowhere. We have nearly 100 acres. If you can go on the Google Maps there, Leaf Valley was supposed to be built here years ago and it wasn't. We have nearly 100 acres that's disused for the last 15, 20 years.
And do you want the council to hand over land to you, a 30-year-old man, to ride his quad bike on?
No, I'm not asking to hand over to me. I'm asking to hand over to everybody. So people can go in out of the parks, they're out of the way of kids, and it's up to them. When you get on a bike, you should know the responsibility. You know the responsibility that you have when you're sitting on the bike. You know how dangerous that bike is. When I go out on the main road, I'll stay back from the car. I know that if I go too fast, I could hit that car, or somebody could run in front of the road in front of me and I'll kill them. I know this. So when I get on the bike, I know the responsibility that I have in my hands. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. A lot of kids don't. They just bait up and down.
Okay, so what you're saying is you're a responsible quad bike user.
I'm not saying I'm responsible because I've been on the road, so people say I'm not responsible. But what I'm trying to say is I try to be as careful as I can when I am driving on the road. But we try and get into the field. We try and get into the field as much as we can. But every time we get into the fields that's disused for the last 20 years, that nobody used them, the council come along and block them.
And where exactly are these fields, Paul? Where are they?
These are, say, from Roundstown Garda Station all the way up to Bonogue, all the way up to Lucan. It stretches for nearly 100 acres on two sides of a railway track.
Now, it's fair. I know that part of town very well, and any time I drive up that road, I can see horses in those fields. Could that be the reason?
Well, but them horses are not supposed to be there as well. Like,
Either are you.
But that doesn't make a difference, son, man. There's loads of fields there. They could easily go in and block off 4 fields, put a few jumps in it, and there you go, lads. There's bikes. There's a quad track for you. Do you know what I mean? There's a bike track for you. Keep us off the road. Do you know what I mean? It's up to the kids then. If they go out there and they fall off that bike, that's up to them. That's up to the parents.
No. Hang on a second. If the government were hand over, so let me get this straight. You want land provided to you just off the Bono. But to you and all your quad bike buddies. You want land provided to you. What happens if you fall off that quad bike? Who are you going to sue? Who are you going to claim from?
You're not going to sue anybody. They gave us that land. That's up to you. It's up to you and them parents. If them parents want to go out with their kid and go, well, come on, we go over to the Scrambler track. The parents can stand there and watch their kids. If the kids come off it, that's the joy. That's what you know. When you get on the bike, you know you can come off it. So you shouldn't get on the bike. If you're afraid to come off it, you shouldn't get on the bike.
So you're going. What road are you going up and down on your quad bike on a daily basis?
I don't. I try and stay on the greens, like where there's no. If I go onto a green, there's no one there. I'll stay on the green for maybe 15, 20 minutes and I'll head off. Do you know what I mean? And I'll probably bring the quad back home. Like, I don't stay out all day and baiting up and down and racing people. I'll go out, I'll find a green or a field where there's nobody. I'll have a little mess about probably, and then I'll drive home. That's all. Do you know what I mean?
And what are the guards? What are the guards around the area saying to you? Why are they blocking the park? Why are they blocking all these parks from you going in? And have you said to the guards, Can you give us a piece of land so I can go?
Yeah, the guards around this area are a joke. Yeah, you could go blue in the face talking to the guards, and they just laugh at you. The guards don't give a shit.
Well, now, in fairness, if a 30-year-old man came up to me on a quad bike and said, "Can I have a piece of land to go on my quad bike?" I'd laugh as well, Paul. Like that's not their job. What I'm saying is, did they give you a reason why they won't allow you onto these fields? They won't allow you access.
They won't give anybody reasons.
Stay there for a second, please, Paul. 6797 981 is our telephone number. You can text or WhatsApp your comments to 0877 98 98 98. Okay, there we have Paul. 30. I never thought I'd speak to a man in his 30s who's still driving a quad bike, but there you go. That's how he gets his jollies. He could be doing a lot worse, I suppose. He's going up and down the road near Bonog on his quad bike and wants a piece of land for himself, not just for himself and his buddies, so that they can come off the road, so that they're not going up and down on the road. Aileen, how are you?
Hey,
It takes a lot to leave me speechless, Aileen, but I'm pretty much speechless. What part of Dublin are you from, Aileen?
We're out in Hartstown, in Blanchardstown.
I know it well.
We just had this weekend, I trained with a football club, and we were out with 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds, and they were flying through the park this weekend. Okay, where's the football pitch? Where exactly is this? We're in Hartstown Park. Hartstown Park. What football team play there? Hartstown Huntstown Football Club. Okay. And how many bikes are we talking? There was 3 of them on Saturday, and when we were leaving, my son was cycling beside me. He's a teenager, and he was saying to me, "Mum, you need to get out of the way. They're coming up the path." And I said, "I'm not moving out of the way." And he said, "You have to get out of the way." I said, "I'm not." And the fellas came off the path straight onto the main road and pulling wheelies going up the road. Just at Hartstown Park there. Now, yeah. From what I remember, is Hartstown Park not completely closed off with a fence, with a metal fence around it? It's closed off, and you have the entrances which they've put like a swing gate in, the way you can get through with your buggies and you can get through. Okay, so that's how they're getting in. Yeah, and they're just picking them up on the back wheels, pushing them through, and jumping on them when they get through. And did they go for you on the bikes, or how dangerous was it? No, they're not going for you, but there's kids training and football matches going on nearly, I would say, there's about 8 or 9 pitches in that park, and I'd say 6 to 7 of them are in use, and they're just flying up and down the pathways. There's actually a park run goes on there on a Saturday morning as well, which was happening on Saturday, and they're just flying up and down the pathways, going through the pitches and ruining the pitches that aren't in use. Yeah, I mean, and the pitches there I'm sure they still are beautiful, but as well, Hartstown Park, as far as I can remember, it's used by a lot of people to run around and jog around. Oh, yeah. And what you're saying now is that it's pretty much a no-go area because of these scrambler bikes. Well, at this time of the year, and we have up at Damnestown, there's actually a scrambler park right beside where Clondalkin play, and they go in there, so there's no excuse. I don't know what the cost is to go in there, but if they really want to use their bikes and it's something they want to do, that's where they should be going with it. Nobody's saying it, but I actually blame the parents, because these kids are coming through the park. They're only kids. There's no adults with them.
Okay, do me a favour, stay there for a second, please, Eileen. And in a moment, I'm going to talk to Lisa, who has a huge, big issue with this as well. If you want to get in on it, 6797 981. We've only a couple of minutes left on this. You can text or WhatsApp your comments to 087 798 98 98. 087 798 98 98. We're talking about, well, who knew it was this big of an issue? We're getting calls from all over Dublin now, from different parks all over Dublin. We have calls from the north side of Dublin, the west, the south side of Dublin, to say that parks are now becoming a no-go area because of these Scrambler bikes. I'd love to hear from you. Now, Lisa, you're from the Bonog part of Dublin, is that correct?
I am, yeah.
Now, we were talking to Paul there a few minutes ago, who is riding his quad bike up and down the road beside Bonog because the guards have blocked entrances to the land. What do you want to say?
Well, what I was just going to say was that the land that, was it John, was it?
It's Paul.
Oh, Paul. The land that Paul was talking about there that he wants the council or the government to hand over, that's actually going to be used for the SDZ, which is the strategic development zone for building houses that's much needed in the area. So I don't see there being any way that land is going to be handed over in that particular area where he wants.
Now,
that hasn't been getting used.
Do you accept that, Paul, that land is zoned?
Yeah, fair enough, but that's what I'm saying. That's only been zoned maybe the last 2 or 3 years, and as I said, for the last 20 years it's been disused. Now, I'm not. The houses are needed because the homeless crisis is out of control in the country at the moment. But however, there is plenty of places around Clondalkin and around the local area that they can open up. And as he says, like, I'm a parent myself, I wouldn't have my kid driving around the roads. If he wants to drive a Scrambler, I'd like to bring him to a field or a park that's zoned for it and say, there you go. Do you understand? Okay,
so you want to do the responsible thing, and just watch the language there, please, Paul. I have to cut you off, and I know you don't even realise you're saying it. Is it the whole land along by Bonog, is that all zoned for residential building, Lisa?
Well, the land that he was talking about from, say, Neilstown right up towards Lucan and up towards Bonog, that's the part, as far as I'm aware, that is zoned for the development zone. But I mean, Paul is talking about there as well, like that there's nothing in the area for the kids and that. There is people there that are trying to get some of the parks back up and running, getting local football clubs back into parks and stuff. And it is a knock-on effect from the Scramblers and stuff that the pitches in the parks are destroyed. So you have to look into getting the pitches redone, and then it's stopping the lads coming in on the bikes again, so that you can actually get football clubs up and running in the local parks, and that the parks are supposed to be there for everyone, but there is a knock-on effect then.
But sure, there was only a story in the news this morning of a park in, Katie, was it Ongar? I think it may have been Ongar. It was actually Lucan, a park in Lucan, children's park in Lucan that had been burnt last night. So, you put these facilities in for people. To say there's nothing to do, by the way, out there is absolutely ridiculous. And, I mean, Paul's a 30-year-old man. If he can't come up with ideas to do himself at 30 years of age, there's something wrong. Have you come across these Scrambler bikes, Lisa, around your area?
Well, we have. I mean, I think they're happening in every area. It's not just Bonog or It's not just Darndale or anything else. It is happening everywhere. And, I mean, you want people to slow down. You want them to realise that somebody's life is going to be taken. That's the main issue. And they are going into parks. They're destroying the parks. They're destroying any green space that there is. But I do agree if they had somewhere, but they don't at the moment. And the lands that they're looking for at the moment as well, it's just not possible.
Because, I mean, you have several parks along that road. You have Ballyone Park, and is it Griffin Valley Park as well?
Up towards Lucan, yeah.
Yeah, and from what the reports I'm getting in here is to say that all these parks are being used. Collinstown Park as well are being used at some stage or another by Scrambler bikes.
St Cuthbert's Park too is like being overrun with them at the moment too.
And is it gotten to the point where you can't walk through these parks for fear of these Scrambler bikes? I mean, I'm just thinking of the weekend that we had, the lovely weather at the weekend, and you're sitting out in one of these parks, and God forbid something like that happens. What happened in Darndale?
I do understand what you're saying, but like we ran a community fete last year in St Cuthbert's Park, and in fairness, there was one or two lads come in, but as soon as the residents actually said to them, "Come on, lads, now look, we're having a fun day here," off they went on their bikes, and they didn't interfere anymore.
Okay.
So I think when places are not being used by the public, it's easier for the lads to go in and have a rally round on their
yes, because
whatever.
They're not going to be hassled by people. Thanks very much for your call, Lisa. One last call, and this is Nathan. How are you, Nathan?
How's it going?
Now, what part of Dublin are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Lucan area.
Okay.
And the Neilstown area.
And in any particular park?
No, just see them going up and down the main road. It's just very dangerous as well because there's kids going over to shops and you're fearing for your life. Then when you hear the scramblers, you're like, where are they coming from? And
what age are the young fellas on these scramblers on the main roads?
I'm not sure.
But they're literally belting up and down the roads of Clondalkin and Neilstown.
Yeah, and the guards can't do anything about it, obviously, because of legal reasons. If they chase, they can't. And if anything happens to the scrambler driver, we blamed on the guards.
Well, that's the thing. The guards are in a no-win situation. You're right. If the guards did chase after a couple of young fellas on scrambler bikes, and God forbid one of those young fellas came off the scrambler bikes, everybody be giving out about the guards and saying the guards were wrong. So it's a difficult situation that the guards are in. Is this a regular occurrence? Is this a daily occurrence in Neilstown and Clondalkin, Nathan?
Yeah, it is.
It's bizarre to think that this is going on. I'm going to leave the last word to you, Paul. There's been a huge reaction, and a lot of people, as you can imagine, annoyed by what you're doing. What I will say to you is, okay, you haven't got the green to go on. You're doing it on the main road. You do say that you're doing it in a safe way. You don't go near any of the traffic. Is that correct?
Yeah. But there's one thing I do want to say to you, Jeremy, is you want to get off your high horse and stop judging people for their age because of what we do. There's plenty of blokes out there my age that go out on scramblers and do things like that. So there's no point judging me because of my age. I don't drink, I don't smoke, that's my thing, that's what we do, that's fair to me, yeah?
Okay.
But as I said, if there was fields out there, the kids wouldn't be out in the park.
Okay, they'd be in the fields. Okay, you made your point, Paul. Thanks very much. And I'm sorry for judging, Paul. It's just when I hear of a 30-year-old man on a quad bike, I think, God, could he not have got over it at this stage? I thought it was all young fellas. Neilstown Road says this person constantly has these bikes going up and down. It's absolutely terrifying, says another person. Jeremy, I'm not surprised. The council is not dealing with this antisocial problem at all. That's what it is. It is an antisocial problem. Thank you very much for all your calls, your comments and texts. That has been quite an opener. For those of you who live in housing estates where this isn't an issue, you're probably thinking to yourself, God, I had no idea that this was going on. Well, it is. It's going on in every single part of Dublin. It's scary to think that you can't bring your young fella or your daughter to a park to kick a bit of football on a nice sunny day without the fear of a scrambler bike. And I wish all the best to that man who was in hospital at the moment after that horrific incident in Darndale Park.
98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy. Weekdays from 10 a.m. on 98FM.